Hey guys, welcome back. So today we'll be subtracting mixed numbers. Let's look at this example here. Notice we have 1 over 10 minus 9 over 10. So we have 1 over 10 minus 9 over 10. Now by looking at this example here, notice that my 9 over 10 is larger than my 1 over 10. So if I already have 1/10 and I'm trying to take 9/10 from that, that's not going to be able to work. So I'm going to borrow from my whole number. So I'm going to borrow from my 8. This is going to become 7. And since I borrowed from my whole number, I'm going to add my 10 over 10 here. Remember that 10 over 10 equals 1. So all I did here is I borrowed and I rewrote my fraction. So this is my whole number here, took 1 from here, and I'm going to add 10/10 to what I have here. So now you're going to get 7/11 in my numerator minus 2 and 9/10. Now we can subtract. So now that my denominators are the same, let me remove this. So we have 11 over 10 minus 9 over 10. 11 minus 9, this is going to equal 2, and that's going to be over 10. By looking at this example, I can simplify my 2 over 10 by the number 2. So my numerator, you're going to get 1, and your denominator, you're going to get 5. So your answer here is going to be 1 over 5. And then when you subtract 7 minus 2, this is going to equal 5. So your final answer here is 5 and 1/5. So now let's say you wanted to expand this mixed number here. So if you were to expand, you're going to get 8 minus 2 plus 1 over 10 and then minus 9 over 10. So now I'm going to rewrite this whole number just like we did here on this side. So I'm going to rewrite this as 7 plus 10 over 10. And the reason I am rewriting this whole number is because we cannot subtract 9/10 from 1/10. So what I'm going to do is I am going to borrow from my whole number and rewrite my fraction. So now we have minus 2, which is here, and then plus 1 over 10, and then minus 9 over 10. So now we have 7 minus 2. This is going to equal 5. And then we have 10 over 10 plus 1 over 10 minus 9 over 10. So we have 10 over 10 plus 1 over 10, and then minus 9 over 10. So we have 5 plus 10 plus 1. This is 11, because since my denominators are the same, I can just go from left to right. So 10 plus 1 is 11 over 10. And then we're going to do 11 over 10 minus 9 over 10. So you have 5 plus 2 over 10. And when you combine this, you're going to get 5 and 2/10. However, when you are simplifying that 2/10, you're going to get 5 and 1/5. Let's look at this example here. So first, notice that my fractions, my denominators are not the same. Since my denominators are not the same, then I do need to find a common denominator. List the multiples for my 3 and my 6. And the least common multiple between the two is going to be the number 6. So that means I need to get 6 in my denominator so that we can subtract. If I look at my fraction here, 1 over 3, I'm going to multiply top and bottom here by the number 2. And then on this side, my 5 over 6, I'm going to multiply top and bottom here by just the number 1. So we're going to multiply 2 times 1. This is going to be 2. And then minus 5 times 1, this is going to equal 5. So notice here I have 2 over 6 minus 5 over 6. I am not able to take 5/6 away from my 2/6. So this is where we do need to borrow from my whole number and then rewrite my fraction. So let's say up here we got 2 and 2/6 up here. And then down here we got 1 and 5/6 down here. So I'm going to borrow from my 2. This is going to become a 1. And I'm going to add 6 over 6 here to the fraction I have here so that we're able to subtract. So now you're going to have 1. This is your whole number here, which is what we have here. And then you're going to add your 2 plus your 6. That's going to be 8, and that's going to be over 6. Minus here you have just your 1 and 5/6 here. So 1 and 5/6 here. And notice here, since I rewrote and I borrowed from my whole number and I rewrote my fraction, notice here now I am able to subtract. I can now subtract 5/6 from 8/6. So 1 minus 1, that's going to equal 0. And then you have 8/6 minus 5/6. This is going to equal 3/6. And when I simplify this, you're going to get 1/2. So your final answer here is 1/2 because I divided my top and bottom by 3, and that's going to give us the 1/2. So let's say we were to expand what we have here. So let's say if I expand it, we're going to get 2 minus 1 plus 1/3 minus 5/6. I'm going to rewrite my whole number here and do 1 plus 2/2 because that's going to give me 2. And then we have here minus 1 plus 1/3 minus 5/6. So 1 minus 1, those are going to cancel out. So now we have 2/2 plus 1/3 minus 5/6. When you add 2/2 plus your 1/3, this is going to give you 8/6. And then you have 8/6 minus 5/6. And 8/6 minus 5/6, this is going to equal 3/6. And when you simplify, you're going to get 1/2. So your final answer here on this side, if you were to expand, you're also going to get 1/2 as well. Let's look at this example here. So notice when we look at our fractions, we have 1/5 minus 3/5. So 1/5 minus 3/5. By looking at this here, my denominators are the same, so that's good. But I am not able to take 3/5 from 1/5. So I do need to borrow from my whole number and rewrite my fraction. So this 6 here is going to become a 5. And I'm going to bring this one over here. And I'm going to add, so this is going to be 5/5. So now you're going to get 5 from your whole number here. And then you have 1/5 plus 5/5. This is going to equal 6/5. And then minus 2 and 3/5. Now that I rewrote my fraction, now we are able to subtract. So now we have 6/5 minus 3/5. So we do not have this anymore. So we have 6/5 minus 3/5. My denominators are the same. So I could just go ahead and subtract my numerator. So 6 minus 3, this is going to be 3. And that's going to be over 5. So your fraction here is 3/5. And then when you subtract your whole numbers, 5 minus 2, this is going to equal 3. So your answer here is 3 3/5. So let's say you wanted to expand your mixed numbers and your fractions here. So by looking at this, remember we do need to borrow because I cannot subtract 3/5 from 1/5. So I'm going to use my 6 here, the number here. So I'm going to borrow. So my 6 is going to become a 5. And then I'm going to add my 6/6 to this here because 6/6 equals 1. And then 5 plus 1 equals 6. So we just rewrote. That's all we did. Minus 2. And then plus 1/5. And then minus 3/5. So now we have 5 minus 2. This is going to equal 3. And then now we have plus 6/6 plus 1/5 and then minus 3/5. So now we have 3 plus, if you add all your fractions here together, you're going to multiply top and bottom here by the number 5 because our common denominator here is going to be the number 30. Here, I'm going to multiply top and bottom by 6. And here, I'm going to multiply top and bottom here by 6 again, because that's going to give me 30 in my denominator. Remember, when you are adding or subtracting, your denominators have to be the same. So for my denominators to be the same, that's what I'm going to multiply my top and bottom with. So then here we have 6 times 5. This is going to be 30. That's going to be over 30. Here you have 1 times 6. that's going to be 6 over 30. Here you also have 3 times 6, that's going to be 18 over 30. Now I'm going to combine all of my fractions here because my denominators are the same. So you have 3 plus 30 plus 6, that's going to be 36 over 30 minus 18 over 30. So then you're going to get 3 plus 36 minus 18, and that's going to be over 30. So your answer here, 3 and 18 over 30. However, when you simplify this 18 over 30 here, notice here that the number 6 goes into both. So 6 on top here, 6 here. So your numerator, you're going to get your 3 as your whole number. And then your numerator, you're going to get 3 over 5. So your final answer here is 3 3/5, which is what we also have here. So remember, if you want to expand your fractions, it's going to look like this. But if you do not need to expand and you just can solve it like this, then it's going to be right here on the right side. Let's look at this example here. So notice here, my fractions, we have 1 over 9 minus 5 over 9. Just by looking at this example here, I cannot subtract 5/9 from 1/9. So I do need to borrow from my whole number, and then we're going to rewrite my fraction. So this 8 here is going to become a 7. And then this 1 over 9, I'm going to add 9/9 to this because I borrowed from this 8 here and I brought it over to my fraction. So now your fraction here on this side is going to be 7 from your whole number here. And then you have 1 over 9 plus 9 over 9. This is going to be 10 over 9. And then minus your 6 and 5/9 here. Now we can subtract because now I have a larger number on top. I can take the smaller number from that. So that's perfect. We do not have this anymore. So now we have 10 over 9 minus 5 over 9. And because my denominators are the same, I can go ahead and subtract my numerator. So my numerator is just going to be 5, and that's going to be over 9. So you have that here, 5 over 9. And then when you subtract your whole numbers, 7 minus 6, that's going to equal 1. So your final answer here is 1 5/9. Now, let's say you were to expand. So let's expand our fractions and whole numbers here. So 8 minus 6 plus 1 over 9 minus 5 over 9. I'm going to rewrite my 8 here just like we did here. So this is going to be 7 plus 9 over 9 because that's going to give me 8. And then minus 6 plus 1 over 9 and then minus 5 over 9. So now we're going to subtract and add. So we have 7 minus 6. This is going to equal 1. So 1 plus 9 over 9 plus 1 over 9 and then minus 5 over 9. So we have 1 plus 9 plus 1. Since my denominators are the same, I can go ahead and just add my numerators. So 9 plus 1, this is going to be 10 over 9 minus 5 over 9. So you have 1 plus 10 minus 5. This is going to be 5 over 9. And when you combine, you're going to get 1 5/9. And this is your final answer here. All right, so that is all for today. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.